February 21st, 2020.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 142. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
We did a stat. This is 142, right?
It is 142, yes.
All right, awesome. I'm so glad for that.
But before we open up with this joke, I actually just completely realized, bro, how many more pins we got left? Did we get rid of all of them?
No, we didn't get rid of all of them. We've got like 40.
So, can you send me some more?
Yeah.
Since I've been wearing it on my apron, motherfuckers are commenting. They're like, dude, can I get one?
They better be listening to the show.
Oh, they're going to be if they want this sweet, sweet pin.
They want the merch. They gotta scratch my back.
But then again, I also, because a lot of them want to do the same shit that I'm doing. They want to put it on their apron, and I'm like, you poor bastards, you'll be walking billboards.
That's exactly part of our evil scheme.
Well, that's what I've been doing with it. Like I rock it on my little apron since I've been doing that, and it's definitely have a couple people that want one.
Yeah, I can send you some more. I need to. I keep meaning to make like an Etsy storefront to sell some because I've definitely had some people reach out on Twitter that want to purchase them, and I will do that one day. And I will, don't fear not, I will talk about it on the show when that happens. I'm gonna do that someday, I promise. But yeah, it was funny. You mentioned a joke. So my cat, I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment. My cat's food bowl is right next to my recording setup, and I just fed him, so he was eating, and I said...
Well, the context for me, though, was as soon as I got into the Skype call, I was eating.
Yeah, you're munching down on some chips, and I was giving you some shit for it.
And you were giving me shit for it.
And so we're getting ready to record, and I was like, hang on, let's let the fat boy finish eating. And then Todd goes, I'm not eating anymore, bitch. And I was like, no, I'm talking about my cat. You just thought I was being like so cool. So this fat fuck finished eating.
I was like, shit, dude. I'm not even eating anymore, bro.
God damn. It was so funny.
Yeah, it gave me a good laugh before we started.
Oh, Todd, it feels good. Feels good to record today. I'm happy to be here. I've got some housekeeping before we get into it. So, first things first, I just want to lay this out here. We will not be covering, as you all know well by now, there was an Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct that happened this week. Happened on Thursday, the 20th, and we will not be covering that Direct in this episode of the show. And I know what you're thinking. Seth, you were just talking about how starved you were for a Nintendo Direct. How could you not be covering it on the show? And you're right, I am starved. I'm very starved for a Direct. But this is a hyper-focused Direct based on one game. And as a result, it doesn't really have a place in the news drop. Like, it's not gonna be like full of news that's gonna be pertinent to gaming at large. It's gonna be about Animal Crossing specifically. So I don't know. I thought about maybe recording like a direct reaction or something like that, like a little mini direct reaction or something, just to appeal to the folks that would care, like the Animal Crossing fans and stuff like that. But I just didn't feel like it had a place in the main show. Now, when they do a general direct and they have like a lot of general Nintendo news, that absolutely has a place in the show, and we will definitely cover that. But it being so hyper specific, I just didn't think that it really fit in the news drop this week. So I opted to not cover it this week. Also, I want to shout this out. Waterdeep Dragon Heist Episode 4 went live this week. So that is now live for your listening pleasure. If you haven't heard it.
Best episode yet.
I agree. I think it's our best episode yet. I had a lot of fun doing that one. And it goes places. I'll say that. It's a good episode. Todd is starting a new Let's Play series coming up very, very soon. And as a matter of fact, the first episode goes live tomorrow. It's a new Let's Play series where he's playing through Metro 2033 Redux.
that may eventually turn into me doing another Let's Play of Metro. Was it Last Light?
Yeah, because you got the 2-pack, right?
Yeah, I got the 2-pack.
So
I mean, at the moment, there's essentially 5 episodes banked, essentially.
yes.
Which is...
So we're gonna have new episodes of that every Tuesday and Saturday. The first one will go live tomorrow at the time that you're listening to this. So February 22nd will be the first episode of that, and then a new episode will be up every Tuesday and Saturday from then on. One more video I want to shout out, and then I promise we'll get into the show properly. We put a video kind of together to showcase our first 2 hours or so with Darksiders Genesis, which is a game that we're going to talk a lot about here in a minute. We've played a lot more of the game by now, so we have some kind of more detailed impressions, but we did kind of want to do like a first impressions video where it is literally our raw first couple of hours kind of with the game, and we have a video of that on the channel as well. So a lot of content for you to enjoy if you like our bullshit this week. I think that's it, housekeeping-wise. Am I forgetting anything?
I think that's everything.
I think that's everything. So, Todd, let me ask you this. Something that you may be shocked to hear me ask you. What have you been playing?
Well, at this point, essentially, I've been playing Call of Duty sporadically and recording the Metro 2033 Let's Play.
How are you finding Metro? How are you liking it?
You know what's funny? I think I even commented on this in one of the episodes. It's like, God, I really play through old shooters.
Well, I think a lot of shooters kind of like slip through the cracks for you.
Yeah, because it's funny as much of I do enjoy the the whole shooting genre shit, but for the most part, I really just play like multiplayer shooters. So like single player shooters, I kind of like sleep on, and I don't know why.
I love a good single player shooter, man.
Yeah, it's the thing. Like it's so yeah. So Metro 2033. I mean, I've the only issues I've really ran into personally is there's some like control shit, like old school like control issues in my mind,
which I think are probably going to improve as you work through the series if you continue on.
There's definitely moments where I'm like fumbling, even in the last one I did was episode 5, where I'm still kind of fumbling with it's the L1 and R1 menus, where you kind of like it's like shit on the D-pad and shit on the buttons, and sometimes I'm like doing something on the D-pad that's for a button because I'm stupid.
Like the placement just seems weird.
It just bothers me. Just a little, it's like just weird. Just a personal thing. But other than that, I'm enjoying the story for what it is. It gets a little it goes places. I'll say that. Like I'm not like super deep, but it definitely goes places where there is a level of like supernatural aspects to it.
Yeah, my knowledge of the Metro series is so limited.
That's the thing. So I have like vague knowledge of the Metro series, so I kind of know somewhat of what the fuck is going on, but I am pretty much blind playing this, and it's interesting when you're like hearing like voices and shit.
What I know about the game, about this series, is this: I know that it is a first-person kind of post-apocalypse.
Yep.
It is based on a popular, I think, Russian book series.
Yep.
It takes place primarily inside of the tunnels of like the Moscow metro.
Yes, the metro.
And I think there's a mechanic that I heard about where like the ammo is also currency. That's what I know.
So, and I think I've even talked to you about that. The thing with the ammo, it's not all ammo.
It is still separated.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like military grade ammo. And the thing with the military grade ammo, I don't know if they carry that on into like the newer games, but when I'm playing, if you're out of ammo, like of like the base, like you're out of like shotgun shells, you're out of like submachine gun ammo, stuff like that, you can actually use the currency, the military grade ammo, and basically not be out of ammo, but you're essentially fucking draining your funds.
So, they separate it though in that like this is my shooty ammo and this is my spendy ammo.
Essentially,
Yeah.
but you can call it like dirty ammo and then like the clean ammo essentially.
I see.
That's kind of like the way they kind of do it in a little bit. But other than that,
A bullet of another color.
Yes. But it is essentially, it's a shooter, man. It's like what you'd expect. I do like the homemade weaponry that you'll find.
That's cool.
And then there's like the military grade weapons you'll find. I had an AK for a while.
Oh, of course.
I got it from I got it from my boy Bourbon.
His name is Bourbon?
That's what he was called, motherfucker.
I like it. He should be called Vodka. Go full Russian.
Hey, fuck it. Bourbon was my boy. Keon was.
Oh, God. Spoilers.
Find out what happened.
Watch the video series.
Episode 2.
Damn, it's that early, huh?
Yeah.
Aye.
But yeah, I think overall, where I am at in the game currently at the time of this recording, I'm like maybe a little halfway through. I'm towards the end of chapter 4 of 7.
I see. Okay.
I was looking up recently like where I'm at level-wise because I was like kind of curious. So I am around, like I'm like right at the ass end of chapter 4, and it goes up to chapter 7.
Is it pretty linear?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty linear. I mean, there is like some level of like exploration, a little bit where you can like find like some ranger stashes and get some like materials and shit, get some like more ammo.
Does this one take place literally entirely in the metro?
No, you go to the surface a couple times, and I'm technically when I was talking to you, I'm technically on the surface.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I know that
the surface sucks.
I know that I think as the series progresses, it kind of got progressively more open world. To the point where I think Exodus flat out is open world.
Is it really?
I think so.
I'm looking forward to actually maybe getting to that.
The newest one.
I wouldn't mind recording myself. I might honestly, this might turn into me like slowly but surely doing a whole like Metro playthrough of them all. But it's gonna be one of those things like when other games come out. Obviously, like I might be sitting, like I might like sleep on like 20, 30 hours in Last Light for a little bit until like because I don't know because like when Neo and stuff comes out, I don't know if I want to record myself playing that.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be recording literally every game you're going to be playing.
So it's just going to be. There will be. I'm trying to keep a steady flow of content on the YouTube channel because I know we definitely have been sleeping on that.
Well, listeners of this podcast know that there are times in your life where the trickle starts. Yeah, and it's like you don't have any games to play.
And
now you have something.
Honestly the easiest time for me to actually sit down and record shit, stuff that I haven't like. And I have made the joke a couple times, and I'm prepared to make the joke when you join me for one of these episodes. Is my therapy?
Yes, your court-appointed therapy.
And I'm like, I'm honestly, I'm probably gonna dead ass introduce you as my therapist. I'm here with my therapist, Seth.
Dr. Seth Sturgill to you.
Yeah. But, I've enjoyed my time with it. I'd probably, when I finally sit there and beat it, probably give it, some more thoughts on it. But overall, I've enjoyed it. I like the world of Metro. And also, I didn't even mention this. Like, they actually gave me, I think this is a thing with Redux, gave me 2 styles of play. Which is survival, survival and Spartan. Part of me, I think I even said it in the first episode when I was like choosing it. I'm like, I feel like I should have done Spartan, but I kind of wanted to like at least because I'm playing this shit on normal. I ain't playing this shit on hard. That game would suck on hard. But at that point, I was like, you know what? Let me at least do the true way of Metro, which is the survival, because Spartan essentially plays where it's going to be more action-packed. The ammo is going to be more plentiful.
It's more of a typical shooter.
Yeah, because the survival, I'm going to tell you right now, I've deadass ran out of ammo multiple times.
See, I like that, though.
And when the times I've run out of ammo, I'm just like, well, I guess I'm fucked. It's like I was just sitting there, for a while there. There's one part, it's not really a spoiler, but there's one part I remember where essentially I didn't know what the fuck I had to do. So there was like these enemies that just kept on respawning. I had no ammo. So there was these NPCs though. So I'd sit there. Because I was still trying to figure out what I was doing. There was like 4 motherfuckers. And I'm like, well, you know what? I let them chase me. Let them back to the NPC so the NPCs can kill them. Went back, trying to figure out what I was doing.
That's funny.
It was bad. It was bad. And then I found like a revolver. I'm like, I have revolver ammo. Ha ha! Now I can fight.
I have a revolver. Ho, ho, ho.
It was bad, dude.
But I like those sort of like self-imposed limitations sometimes. I mean, like, there's sometimes when it's frustrating in a video game, but like, I don't know. It seems more realistic.
There was times where I'm like, do the grab attacks on me, bitch, so I can fucking tap A and just kill you.
Oh, get like that instant kill melee counter kind of thing.
Come on, I got no ammo. Come on, motherfucker.
But I like that because, like, in that moment, that is how you would feel. Like, come at me, bitch. I want you to do it.
I'm craving it. Oh, Lord.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to actually, like, spending more time with the game, obviously. Spending more time with the Metro series in general. So
spending more time in Moscow.
I'm trying to think. Other than that, I don't think I've really been doing much else. Because I think it's just been Call of Duty, which has been basically my main, like, chill game. And then just recording the playthrough. Other
than, of course, Darksiders Genesis.
Oh!
Which we can talk about. So you and I, we've played what? Like 5-ish hours?
We're at least at like 5 hours now.
5-ish hours of it? I don't know how many chapters there are in the game, but I think we're on like chapter like 6 or 7. Right? I think we just beat chapter 6.
Yeah. So I think we're on chapter 7 now.
Yeah. Whatever the case may be. But we put in enough time to have some thoughts. For better
Lord
or for
knows,
worse.
I have some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, this game's weird. This game is not amazing.
It's
good, I think. Like, I'm having a good time playing it. But it's not amazing.
It's not polished, I'll say that.
It's very unpolished.
Oh, yeah.
The bugs have been plentiful.
You know, every time that I've ever played a game and they're like, there's always people talking about, oh, there's so many bugs, and I never experience it.
I feel like I'm usually on the upswing of that too.
Yeah, it's this. I'm seeing and feeling some bugs.
I'm the bug repellent, Todd. The bug repellent usually, but that's not the case now.
My Repel is not working.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Repel's effect is worn off or whatever it says.
Lord.
Because Lord knows Repel's effect is worn off with this game. This is one buggy ass game. So I mean, we had to do so. Let's just get the bug talk.
I want to get the big one out of the way. That fucking door.
So we there's a situation in the game in like chapter like 4 or 5 where you go through this door, you open a door, and then it triggers a like kind of escape sequence where like platforms are falling.
The ground is falling down. Like you have to it's a race against time.
You've seen it a million times in video games where you're having to like jump a bunch and like, you know, jump off of the platforms that are falling right underneath your feet and everything.
So at this point, you died. So I had to do it by myself, and I failed miserably because the platforming's not good in this game.
It's not.
And I'm taking into account that I'm also just bad at platforming.
But it's also just not good.
Yeah. So at that point, we had to redo it. And that is where the problem began.
We restarted from the last checkpoint or whatever, and the door just closes.
It closed up as we tried to move into it. So it's okay. So we went to cool. So at that point, we're like, okay, let's see if we can just open it again. And I think you even called it. You're like, is this shit just going to be like fucked up?
Because the trigger for the escape sequence is tied to the door closing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool, we can open the door, but there's not going to be any platforms there.
Yeah, as soon as we open the door, we just walk off to our deaths. It's like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. But there was also a scenario where like you fell through the floor and we had to like kick you from the game.
Yeah, you had to just dead ass like it wasn't even one of the, it was so bad. And honestly, if you just looked at my screen, it just looked like I was just sitting in like the like middle of nothing, because it's just like that's how like I was just constantly falling. I thought the game, because the game technically did this before, where like does this weird thing with you get stuck for too long, right?
Yeah.
Where it'll like reset you.
Right.
That's what I thought it was gonna do, because it's done that a couple times while I was playing, and did not do that. So yeah, I was just falling endlessly, and then you finally kick me out. And the beauty of this is it just crashes my game as you kick me out.
Dude, that was so funny. So first of all, you have to, in order to kick a player or invite a player, it's not just
a summoning stone.
Yeah, it's not just some simple, elegant, intuitive menu. No, you have to, in the world, there is a thing called a summoning stone. These things are kind of peppered, conservatively throughout the levels. And I had to like backtrack. It turned out there was one a lot closer that I didn't know about. But I ended up backtracking to this summoning stone just to kick you. And then, yeah, as soon as I kick you, it just, rather than kicking you back to the main menu, it just crashed your game. And I was like, God, that's so funny.
Straight crashed it.
Their version of kicking you out of the game is just crashing your game. That's so funny. And then I had a full-on crash also after we finished a chapter. That was just so funny. It was so good. And then there's just all this little jank that we've encountered.
Yeah, there's just a little bit. It's like there's just a lot of jank with this game, man. Just like even just like little bullshit with it. Like another problem I have with the game though is the fucking camera.
Yeah, so I just want to... apropos of all of what we just talked about. We talked about bugs. That can be chalked up to a lot of things. Like, this game was first launched, like, months ago. Like, they had to get it ready for the launch of, like, Google Stadia. And, like, I think it was a Stadia launch title. And then it was on PC and shit like that. So you can chalk that up to, like, a rush job of a game.
Yeah.
Just needed more time in the oven, whatever. But... there are also little design annoyances, like you just said. Mm-hmm. The camera is not good.
The map is dog shit.
So it's isometric. Like the game is top down, like a Diablo style kind of
How
view.
do you feel about it?
I'm fine with it. Like on the whole,
I feel like I'd be more okay with it if it was just the camera wasn't dog shit at times.
Well, I wish that they had designed the game for a locked perspective with the camera, because unlike Diablo, this camera will actually shift at times. Yes. And it'll shift to just bad angles where like sometimes you just can't even see.
Dude, there was that one moment, dude. I think both of us commented on it. Like we like walked into this like closer to a wall and it just went.
I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like why is this angle a thing? It wasn't good. And then, the map is so weird. Like, the game does not pinpoint your position on the map.
And that's the main thing that kills the map. Because it's like, you're just like, well, where the fuck am I at? Like, fuck.
It highlights the area that you're in. But the area, these levels are actually quite large.
Yeah.
And there's actually quite a lot to do in the levels. Like, it gets to the point where you're spending, if you're going to go after like all of the like little things to explore and puzzles in the level, I mean, you could easily, that last chapter we did, we were probably in there for an hour and a half.
Definitely.
And I mean, like, there's a lot of shit to do in these levels, which is fine. And there's definitely like a Metroidvania, go back and replay the levels once you get different powers and shit like that. That's all fine. But it just, to me, it just doesn't work. And the map just doesn't work for that style. You should have just straight up copied Diablo's map. Mm-hmm. Like just straight up copied Diablo's map because they perfected it.
I would honestly even like just having like a little bit of a mini map, honestly.
Some sort of mini map or some way to overlay the map like Diablo does would have been nice. But no, you have to like go into this clunky pause menu and look at these like obtuse like there's no way to see yourself on the map. You have to look at these obtuse like symbols and determine what they are. It's weird. It's just weird. But
well, like, so the other thing on the plus side of this game though is I do like playing it.
It's fun to play. It is. It is fun to play. Like it's co-op centric. where I'm playing as Strife, which is a new character.
I'm playing as my boy, War.
Yeah, as War, of course, and it's interesting because, like, even though this is a top-down Diablo-style game, it's still very much a Darksiders game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because Todd playing as War, he plays just like he does in the first game, essentially.
Daddy's home, essentially.
Yeah, so... And there's new abilities and stuff like that, but for the most part, War is still War.
I feel like essentially, War is War. Like,
so, and then playing as Strife is a little bit different. Almost has like a demon hunter from Diablo's sort of vibe. He has all these different ammo types, which are really fun, and I like the dichotomy between the two is fun. And I also like the way they bounce off of each other, because Strife is a lot more. You gotta, from the lore perspective, right? Where this game takes place in the lore. War still has a lot of sort of faith in the system and the council.
Yeah, War is just all about. He's up the council's ass at this point. He hasn't been hurt yet.
Right, and Strife is a lot more like, he hasn't necessarily been hurt, but he's a lot more like apprehensive about it all.
Well, I think that's the thing. Even with the lore of Strife, he's always been kind of the rebel.
He's like a rebel. He's kind of a humanity sympathizer a little bit.
Well, I actually kind of love seeing that because, again, the first time you actually see him in like the, like the numbered games, he is helping out technically. Spoilers.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like the sort of like back and forth between them. There are cool little like dialogue moments that you can seek out. Like there's these little conversation points that you can seek out, and War's got some funny dialogue and stuff.
War essentially gives me that Crusader from like Diablo energy.
Yeah,
it gives me that like, even like when fighting, he's just like, taste your end. I'm like, all right.
Well, and he even has a little bit of that like Drax taking things literally energy or whatever.
Shit, yeah, there was a good one. Do you remember that one?
Where he says like there was like I think Strife was trying to tell a knock knock joke, and War was like, "Why would I respond and give away my position?" or something like that.
It was like something like that. Yeah,
it was something akin to that, and it's I like the interplay between the two characters, and the art is really pretty too. It's still got that. It looks like a Darksiders game. It's got that Joe Mad art, and I actually kind of like that they just embraced the. Yet cutscene wise, they just embrace the comic booky nature.
Yeah, I think you even mentioned it in the video. Is like you kind of in a way prefer those cutscenes.
I definitely do. I sort of wish that they would just have animated cutscenes and just embrace it. This game looks like a comic, so like just embrace that. And I like that they did that, and I like the little character portraits that pop up for the dialogue, and it's fully voiced. The music is good. It's got all that classic Darksiders stuff. And it also, I want to stress that, like, this is a Darksiders game. Like, It has puzzles. It is not just like a typical, just like hack and slash Diablo. It's not completely Diablo style. It is still very much a Darksiders game. I've actually enjoyed some of the puzzle solving elements that we've had. I mean, there's been some jank with that too, for sure.
Oh, Lord knows there's been some jank. But yeah, puzzle-wise, I've actually had fun with the game. Because, shit, we've definitely had to work together a couple times.
Yeah, finding the trickster rooms and stuff like that, too, is cool. And the little secondary objectives that you'll see peppered through the levels. But, I don't know. It's like we talk about sometimes. The solid 7, We talk about that sometimes. We're like, the game is not bad. It's got these little design annoyances. It's not polished whatsoever. But there's still good in him. There's good in his heart. I know there is. We're going to keep playing it for sure. We're going to beat it. Like it's a fun game. I like it. And look, I mean, the game's $40. It's not full price. They didn't come out swinging.
I do want to say one thing though. That game definitely throws some shit at you. With like some of those enemies hurt. Yeah,
the game is actually kind of tough. Like combat wise. The game actually, some of those enemies hurt, and we're just playing on like normal or whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple times where I'm just like, keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah. To the game's credit too, you can actually completely customize the controls and stuff like that, which I always like to see in video games.
I don't
So
technically have an issue with the control. I didn't have to do that. I know you did.
yeah, I changed mine because I just didn't like the way that it felt to have his. I thought it made more sense to have both guns on both triggers rather than like R1 and R2.
Oh, well, is that how they did it?
Yeah, it was the
Ew.
the default setup was one gun would be in R1 and one gun would be in R2. So I just set it up.
That's dark shit.
Yeah, it kind of like you remember how when Doomfist first came out.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first things I did.
Exactly.
I did it to where it made sense.
Exactly. So a similar thing
Where it was
here.
like dead ass, so like I think left and right essentially.
And that's essentially what I did with Strife. But it's cool that you can do that. Not every game allows you to do that.
I think I did that with Moira too.
Yeah.
Because I think Moira had some dumb shit. That's like, use your fucking brain, people. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. But that's been an entertaining time. I've been having fun with that.
Yeah.
That's been the main thing. I haven't had a whole lot of video game time. Just that and Dragon Quest.
And so what else can you say about Dragon Quest other than I know it got you finally to feel a little bit.
It did actually. Yeah, I'm still chipping away. I think I'm coming into the end of Act 2 at this point. I'm like 60-ish hours, a little over 60 hours in. And I'm really...
How many acts are there?
There are 3 acts.
Okay, I was like, shit, dude.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of coming into the, like... I'm definitely getting there. I'm making progress. But yeah, there was definitely a moment in one of the quests where I got a little emotional, I'm not going to lie. That was the first time that game's made me legitimately emotional. I was like, wow, this is a really cool moment. It's a really good game. I mean, what more can I say about it? It's just something that I'm going to be slowly chipping away at for a long time, I feel like. But I'm really digging it still. When I have free gaming time, that is what I want to do with it. I want to play Dragon Quest. I'm not sick of it. After 60 hours, I'm still not sick of it, so that should tell you something.
Yeah.
So, anyway. That's what we've been playing, Todd. You ready for some news?
Always.
Tell you what, let's start with some movie-related news. Because we don't often talk about movies. Every now and then we will. Only when it's prescient, and I feel like it's something we should talk about. So I got one little movie bit that I want to talk about with you. And technically, I don't even think we've talked about this off mic, so I think this will be interesting. And then we'll move into the gaming news. Does that sound good to you, Todd?
Let's do it, boy.
So earlier this week, the Batman director Matt Reeves shared a screen test of Robert Pattinson in the movie's new take on the iconic Batsuit. Todd, you saw this, I trust?
Yeah, of course I did.
What were your thoughts?
So... Is the fucking symbol supposed to be like some gun shit?
That's what it seems like. So that's probably the most notable thing about this new take on the suit, is that the bat symbol on the chest looks like it's made out of a deconstructed gun, which is a nod to Detective Comics 1000 that came out last year, written by Kevin Smith. Where, Batman forges the bat symbol out of the gun that was used to shoot and kill his parents. Which, by the way, is an idea that I love.
No, I love that. That's great.
I think that's awesome. But then, also, what do you think about just the way that the suit kind of looks like... It's got, stitching on the cowl.
Yeah.
The cape's got, a collar to it. You know? It's interesting.
I can't wait to see it, with proper lighting.
Yeah.
Because, but other than that, I have no issue. I think when I first saw it, the cowl threw me off for a little bit for some fucking reason. But
I like the stitched cowl. The stitch, it gives me a year one vibe.
Well, I think that's essentially what they're going for, right?
I totally think they're going for that.
Yeah.
But then it also gives me a sort of the collared cape gives me that sort of I don't know, that sort of late 70s, early 80s Batman look. Kind of like when Neil Adams first started drawing Batman. He's got that... I really like that collar. I think it looks really kind of cool and vintage. And the stitching on the cowl. This seems like this is going to be kind of a younger take on Batman. The year one thing. We've heard a lot of, it's been kind of interesting following this movie's development. Like, even going back to when it was still going to be a Batfleck movie. Because from what we were hearing, back when Ben Affleck was attached, it was going to be essentially an adaptation of The Long Halloween.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they're going a more year one approach, but they're still involving, like, a lot of villains. Because we already know...
Oh, God.
Like, we already know that Paul Dano is in as the Riddler. Like, we've got Colin Farrell as Penguin. Like, we already know those characters are in there. I feel that Catwoman's in there. I think Zoe Kravitz has been cast as Catwoman.
Okay.
So, like, already we know about some pretty major players in this movie. And I wonder how deep they're going to go down the rabbit hole with this stuff. I'm actually, like, really excited for this movie. And it was cool to see that kind of... I think the composer is Michael Giacchino, or however you pronounce his name. He's a famous composer. He, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same guy who did the soundtrack for, like, Firefly.
Oh, okay.
And he's done a lot of stuff. He's done, like, the new Star Trek movies. He did the soundtrack for the Mission Impossible films. Rogue One. So he's a frequent collaborator with Matt Reeves. So really cool to see. I'm ready to see more of this movie. A lot of people were joking around saying that it seems like kind of has like a Daredevil kind of vibe because it was all red, of course.
Yeah.
So the people were kind of joking around about that, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to hear more.
Same.
I'm looking on the IMDb page for this movie right now. And so I knew Andy Serkis was playing Alfred, which is funny.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Andy Serkis is going to be Alfred in this movie. Yeah.
All right, then.
I'm assuming they're going to go for a kind of like that kind of... I almost feel like they're going to go for that more Cockney kind of like he has that badass like Secret Service background, you know? I feel like they're going to go for that sort of Alfred.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
I don't know. That's just my gut feeling with Andy Serkis being cast. I don't see him being a timid butler. I don't know. But interestingly, I'm looking at this listing here. Paul Dano is listed as Edward Nashton / the Riddler. They're not going the Nigma route with this one.
He'll change his name. No.
Yeah, apparently Carmine Falcone is also in the movie.
Who's playing him?
John Turturro.
Fuck is that?
He's one of those. You would recognize him if you saw him. He's one of those actors. He usually plays kind of like bit parts or like.
Yes, I probably if I saw him, I'd probably know who he is.
Yeah, definitely. So he's playing Carmine Falcone in the movie. We have a lot of big villains in this movie already, and it's still far out. I think the movie comes out next June. So photography, principal photography is already taking place. They're already filming. But yeah, June 25th, 2021 is when we're going to see that movie. So I just wanted to talk about the Batman a little bit because I'm really, really quite stoked. How'd you like that chin? That good bat chin?
I mean, I already kind of knew he'd have a good bat chin.
Yeah, Pattinson's got that chin, man. Pattinson's rocking that good bat chin. So you got 90% of the work done for you. You just got to have a good voice now. So we'll see.
Have you ever seen the the fucking like test footage of Batman Begins and shit?
I don't think so.
Like with like the other actors or some shit that were like up for the part before dude, it's not good.
Before Christian Bale, who else was up for it?
I don't even know, dude. It was just like test footage and shit. Like you were just seeing how they were reading the lines. Dude, it was bad.
God. It would be funny to know just some people who are like wildly inappropriate for the role.
Well, it's like, dude, one that was like doing like the "swear to me" line. It's like, "Swear to me." No, it's like,
hey, buddy, swear to me.
That's essentially what it sounded like. I was like, ooh, no.
People give Christian Bale, they talking all that shit. Could have been worse.
Oh, Lord knows it could have been worse.
I like Christian Bale.
Ah, shit.
Anyway, let's move into a video game direction here with the news, Todd. Let's start, as I always like to do, let's pop that bottle. Let's pop that cork and talk about some NPD sales data. The data for January is in. Let's ring in this new year, Todd. Going over some of the details here. We will notate here that gamers are simply over this console generation, as software spending is down 26% year over year, and hardware sales are down 35% when compared to last year. That's to be expected. We're not really shocked by that. Mm-hmm. Software sales being down, well, there's not really any video games, as we'll see. Nothing really came out in January. And then hardware sales being down, yeah, people aren't rushing out and buying a PS4. What they are buying is the Switch. The Switch is, yet again, the best-selling hardware of the month, both in unit and dollar sales. I believe that is like the 13th or 14th month in a row for the Switch. So, although we'll talk about this in a little while, but that might be slowing down pretty soon. Earlier than Nintendo might like. But we'll talk about that in a second. The top 10 best-selling games of the month were in order. Number 1, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which I think is pretty much the only prolific January release in terms of new games.
Dragon Ball Z brings a lot of people together.
Yes, it does. Shit, you were tempted.
Oh, shit, of course I was fucking tempted.
You were tempted to drink, to suckle from that teat.
Hell yeah.
To suckle from that weeaboo Dragon Ball teat, to suck on them Dragon Balls.
Dragon Ball was my childhood, bitch.
Sucking on them Dragon Balls. Placing them Dragon Balls on your chin.
Of course.
Number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 3, Madden NFL 20. Number 4, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Number 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. The game that will simply not die.
It never will.
No. Number 6, NBA 2K20. Number 7, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 8, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 9, Ring Fit Adventure. Nice to see that pop into the top 10. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming a lot of folks were able to find that with some Christmas money. So nice to see that come around.
That New Year, New Me.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent point. Yeah, New Year, New Me. Let's buy Ring Fit Adventure. Yeah, you're right. Excellent point. That brought it into the top 10. And then number 10, Red Dead Redemption 2. Good old Arthur Morgan charging into the top 10 this month.
Pouring out for him.
Raise some awareness for tuberculosis, Todd. So, let's talk about something here. I alluded to this when I talked about Switch sales potentially waning very, very soon, and there's a good reason for that. I talked about this last week, but we have multiple reasons to yet again talk about the effects of the coronavirus and what this virus is having on video game hardware production. Mm-hmm. And this actually extends to some unlikely places. So we reported again last week that the coronavirus was having some effects on Switch hardware production and supply in Japan, but it seems like the issue is actually going to soon bleed over into the American and European territories as well. So a production bottleneck is causing limited component supply to come out of China to Nintendo's partner factory in Vietnam, which will in turn see reduced hardware units shipped to the US. And as a matter of fact, Bloomberg reports that this shortage could be coming as soon as April, which is not good news considering that Nintendo has got Animal Crossing New Horizons coming out at the end of March, and that's no doubt poised to be their biggest release of the year. So people are going to be wanting to buy Switches in April, and they might not be able to. And that's not going to be good. That could be a pretty harmful blow to Nintendo, especially when you consider that the US accounts for roughly 43% of Nintendo's current Switch hardware sales. So yeah, this could be a big deal. At first it sounded like, okay, whatever, there's going to be some delays. Well, now it sounds like this is actually going to affect us in these bigger territories where Nintendo is going to actually lose a lot of business. potentially, if they're not smart and manage their inventory. Now, they're doing something that is actually quite smart, and in early April, they are releasing a new model of Switch Lite, which might drum up some business. And these things are already in production. The units that are coming in late March and in April and stuff like that, the Animal Crossing units, these Switch Lites that are coming out, those are already made. But production is going to start being affected by this virus for sure. And then we actually just heard about this today at the time of this recording, that over some coronavirus concerns, Sony has actually backed out of PAX East entirely.
Good.
Which it's funny because, from our throne of embitterment, we were definitely like, oh, god damn it, these motherfuckers, they skipped PAX South so that they could go to PAX East. Well, yeah.
They were gonna have a lot of good shit too.
They had stuff on the docket. They were going to be bringing Doom Eternal. They were going to be bringing The Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Like dead ass, dude. I would have lived at the Sony booth that was at PAX South.
Yeah, but they have dipped out now.
Yeah.
Because of coronavirus concerns. Of course, the reason you might think, well, if this is mostly in China, then why do they care? The reason being, we did have a report just a few weeks ago. Yep. There was a man in Boston where PAX East is taking place who was returning home from China and came home with the illness.
Dude, let me tell you right now, bro. When I first saw that article, bro, I turned into the fucking cable company from South Park.
Oh, rubbing your nipples? Because that was our biggest complaint with PAX South. I mean, we had a good time, but it's not just that there was like waning AAA presence. There was no AAA presence.
Yeah, there was no AAA presence.
And it's because of proximity. There was less than a month of time really between PAX South and PAX East. So a lot of these people just like said, fuck it, we're just going to go to Boston and fuck these guys in San Antonio. So it was a little bit of a bummer for us. And then especially once the exhibitor list was released for PAX East, it's like, oh, great. Like, pretty much any game that you would want to play is going to be there. Sweet. But now, of course, Sony is dipped out. I wonder if others will do the same. We've got some quotes here. It says, quote, "While we are saddened that Sony will no longer have a presence at PAX East 2020, we look forward to welcoming our friends at Sony to future PAX events and are focused on making PAX East 2020 a successful and enjoyable event for all attendees and exhibitors. PAX East 2020 will take place as scheduled with enhanced cleaning and sanitation across the show, including adhering to the recommendations set forth in the U.S. EPA's emerging pathogen policy regarding cleaning disinfectants effective against the COVID-19 virus." This is from PAX East events director. And so they say they're gonna be clean and on the up and up with keeping up with this coronavirus stuff, but I don't know. There's already quite a bit of disease floating around your typical PAX show floor, so
yeah, you're about to get Uber PAX.
Yeah, avoid PAX Pox. Avoid this, everybody.
Oh shit!
If you're going to be attending PAX East and you're a fan listening to this, bring your hand sanitizer. Like, be using that shit on the regular. They're actually, PAX, in my experience, is pretty good about having like hand sanitizer at their booths. You'll see booth attendants like cleaning controllers between demos and stuff like that. So they're usually pretty much on the up and up in terms of cleanliness. I don't think we ever really had an issue with anything being dirty. I mean, hell, even when we went to console free play, we went and played console free play twice. When you turn the controllers back in, they do a detailed clean of the controller.
Yeah, they're cleaning the shit out of it, getting in every nook and
all
cranny.
them nooks and crannies. Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. They're dipping out. So speaking of the hardware manufacturing stuff, Nintendo's got these issues, but it sounds like Sony might be in a bit of a pickle.
No.
When it comes
no.
When it comes to the cost of PS5.
Oh yeah, I did see this.
Yeah, so Bloomberg reports that manufacturing costs are currently around $450 per unit. The reason for this, they say, is that the memory components and cooling components are driving up costs. They are expensive. This is not a surprise based on everything that we've heard about it.
Hey, Sony, if you're listening, you better be. You ain't gonna get a profit. You better keep that shit at $450, bitch.
So we don't know what they're gonna. I mean, I think $499 is gonna be the sweet spot.
Again, that's my limit. That's my personal limit.
I think that's the highest they're gonna charge for this thing. I think $499 is a completely reasonable price.
Yeah.
I think that's the way they're gonna go, and I think you can still get a little bit of a profit off of it. You're not gonna get a huge profit, but I think Sony did eat shit for a while with PS4 compared to cost, if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
So they want to keep this stuff down. So if you look at this, the U.S. prices. So this is actually, I'm pulling this from some research that Colin Moriarty did, host of Sacred Symbols. He posted this on Twitter, and I found this interesting. The U.S. prices of PlayStation consoles at launch, adjusted for inflation. In 1995, the PS1 launched $511.07. Adjusted for inflation, that's $299. The year 2000, PlayStation 2 launched $452.21. That's $299. 2006, PlayStation 3 launched $779.23 after inflation. Launched at $599. You remember that? $599 US dollars, they said. By far the most expensive PlayStation launch. And then when PS4 launched, adjusted for inflation, $451.15. It launched at $399. So when you look at that, the most expensive obviously was PS3, adjusted for inflation. That cost almost $800 today. So, and then you're looking at, when you look at the original PlayStation, $511, PS2 $450, PS4 about $450 as well. So PS5 costing $499 is perfectly reasonable and within Sony's track record of what they're going to be charging for this thing. So they can sell this thing at $499. It'll be reasonable to the market. They will not have to completely eat shit on it. And I think that's what it's going to cost. I think it's going to be $499.
You're going to call it?
Yeah. And apparently Sony is taking a wait-and-see approach to finalizing the PS5's price. In other words, they want to wait and see what Microsoft's going to do and price accordingly. But, they can't wait too long on that, because consoles launching in the holiday, you got to keep in mind that the units are going to need to be in full production this late spring, early summer. They're going to have to be in full production no later than probably May or June to launch this holiday. So they're going to have to lock down these components really, really quickly, and they're going to have to settle on a price really, really quickly. So I don't think they're going to be able to wait and see for too much longer. What do you think, price-wise?
I mean, again, they can't go over 500.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
You go over 500, you're asking too much of me.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think $499 is totally reasonable.
That was always in my mind the limit.
It would be
to
crazy
what they could truly.
If they came out and they said $399. That'd be nuts.
I'd buy two.
$500 my limit, but if they said $399, I'd buy two.
That's a good deal.
No, but that'd be crazy if they were willing to eat shit like that at launch.
I'd respect it. I'd fucking respect it.
Let me ask you this, Todd. So if we're saying that $499 is probably going to be the sweet spot, probably going to be the way this system is priced, when do you think the reveal is going to happen?
Ooh.
When are they finally going to lift the curtain on PS5?
I honestly feel like, I think they're going to do it at what's the stupid ass thing they call it? Is it the state of play or whatever?
Oh, you think they'll do it in a state of play?
Dude, I think so.
That would be shocking. You don't think they're going to throw an actual event? You think it'll actually be on a state of play?
It'd be fucking ballsy to do a state of play. And I honestly, I think they should push state of play more.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Make state of play fucking matter. No,
I do agree with that. I would like to see them push state of play further. We've had, 3 of them, I think, now?
Yeah.
I don't know if that... I sort of want them... I sort of feel like they're going to make the reveal of the PS5... I think they're going to make an event out of it.
Like a whole fucking
Yeah, I think
thing.
it'll be an actual live conference, like they did with PS4, where it'll be kind of more low key. It's not going to be like the E3 stage, but I mean, you know, it's a new console. It's a big deal. I'm excited. I'm excited to get my hands on new hardware. I'm really looking forward to PS5, and I hope they make a. What, you laughing at my hands on new hardware comment?
Yeah.
Just get a little schoolboy chuckle out of that.
Of course.
But no, I would like to see them make an event out of it like they did with PS4. I don't want to see them just announce it like, oh hey, and by the way, PS5 State of Play. I don't know, but I do agree with you. I do want them to push State of Play more.
Yeah.
So even if literally they held an event. Here's PS5. Here's the launch details. Here's the release date, the price. Here's what it does. And then have a State of Play later on where it's completely dedicated to the PS5's launch. They could have
that'd be awesome.
This is the PS5 State of Play. We're going to cover the launch games. We're going to cover, we're going to reveal like fucking it's going to launch with, a port of Assassin's Creed Vikings. It's going to launch with Ratchet and Clank 2, blah, blah, blah,
You call it by its real name, bitch. It's Ragnarok.
Whatever it is. Whatever it's going to be, right?
Assassin's Creed Vikings.
Whatever the fuck it's going to be, right? That would be cool. I would like to see them do that. Yeah, I would like State of Play to be more, just hit a little bit harder. I just don't think Sony's really had that.
It's been a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, this is going to be PS4's kind of like last big hurrah this year. We've got some pretty major PS4 stuff coming out. So we've got, Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2.
That's basically, to me, for me personally, I think Ghost of Tsushima is probably going to be my swan song on the PS4.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be coming out at the tail end. It's probably going to be the last major first-party Sony IP coming out for PS4. So looking forward to it. So this is something that could be interesting. So thanks to a series of leaks and rumors, a new Battle Royale mode called Warzone coming to Call of Duty Modern Warfare seems like the worst kept secret in video games right now.
Oh, dude, holy shit. Holy shit.
Didn't they even have like a cutscene in the game?
All right. So they did this with the last season. So every season has like this like little like cutscene that like introduces some new shit. So this one basically it showed obviously that they brought Ghost as an operator, which everybody and their mother is playing Ghost,
right?
Including me.
Not unsurprisingly.
Yeah, come on, fuck. So yeah. Then in that trailer, it shows off Ghost, shows off like some new shit, like the new maps, and then dead ass at the end of it, so there's like this kind of like open world, like basically the open, like like basically I'm assuming, which is probably gonna be like dead ass, like the fucking map of it, and there's just dead ass motherfuckers dropping out of an airplane. I'm like, okay,
yeah, it's like not a secret at all,
and it's like there's even like the new, there's like a dead ass like classified, like a fucking selection in the menu. So
yeah. So we have some new reports that are sort of suggesting that this Warzone mode is going to go live early next month. So we're saying we're kind of looking at early March for that, probably in a free update. So players who already own the game will have access to the mode for free. But interestingly, it sounds like Warzone is also going to be released as a standalone free-to-play downloadable game.
Holy shit.
To compete with like Apex and Fortnite.
Now, let me tell you this. That's something that motherfuckers wanted with Blackout.
Right.
And I think that's actually a very smart move on their part.
I think so too. I think this could really be brilliant. I think that free-to-play Call of Duty Battle Royale is going to do very, very well.
No, that's fucking genius. Like, also, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely gonna try it out. I try them all out.
I might try it. I'm not a big Battle Royale guy.
I'm more so than you, but I'm still like not like I don't go out of my way to like play the shit out of them.
I mean, I'll probably play like a game like or two, like just to try it out.
Maybe we'll do a little video for it or some shit like we did with Blackout.
Yeah, possibly.
Did we do a video on Blackout? I don't even remember.
I don't know. We
might not
did
have.
a video.
I know
for
we
Fortnite.
did Realm. Fortnite. Did we not do one for Realm Royale?
No, I don't think we did.
We should have.
Realm Royale, I actually enjoyed myself with Realm
Realm Royale is a good time.
But anyway, it's it's not my cup of tea necessarily, but I do think it's very, very smart. What I'm curious about is so the way these games really survive is from microtransactions. So if I own a copy of Modern Warfare and I'm going to have Warzone as a free mode, is that going to come with its own subset of sub microtransactions?
More than likely. It's going to be fucking skins and shit.
Is it still going to operate on the same currency system as the standard multiplayer?
See, here's my thing. Is it going to have a separate battle pass?
Right. See, these are all questions that I have.
Because that's my thing. There's already the battle pass for the current multiplayer. So it's are you going to have just a new battle pass for Warzone, or are you just going to use the same one?
Also, is it going to be is it going to be just another mode that I play in the multiplayer, or am I literally going to be launching another application?
I think it'd be the equivalent of launching up Spec Ops. It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's just weird. This is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This new Modern Warfare is a weirdly modular Call of Duty, and I think that they're using this game. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think it's actually really smart because this is actually something that I've wanted Call of Duty to do for years. Even going back, I've literally been talking about Call of Duty doing this for 10 fucking years, where it's you could release Call of Duty piecemeal. You could sell me just the campaign, or just the multiplayer, or just Spec Ops, or just Battle Royale or whatever, and let me play the Call of Duty that I want to play.
Yeah, because there's people that just genuinely just never touch the campaign and just only play the multiplayer. Those people exist.
Yeah, if I could pay $30 to just have the multiplayer, then I would do it. If I could pay, if I was the type of person that just wanted the campaign, I could pay $20 or $30 for the Call of Duty campaign, I would do it. Or Spec Ops or whatever. Sell it to me in pieces and I would do it. And make it like a fucking like a fucked up Call of Duty Lego kind of thing where I could just snap in, my Call of Duty Legos and I just have a Call of Duty app where it's okay, cool, I now have the campaign and the multiplayer, the Spec Ops, the Warzone. I think that would be a really interesting way to handle Call of Duty. I don't know. That's what I would do if I was in control over there. And it seems like they're kind of experimenting with this kind of stuff. It seems like they're kind of having those same thoughts and they're dipping their toes in the water, Mm-hmm. So that'll be cool. We will certainly try it when that comes out. Seems like that's going to be coming out soon. So this was cool. I wonder if you saw this. So the Switch version of The Witcher 3 got a random update this week. Mm-hmm. A surprising update. And it integrates the ability for players to use their save files from the Steam and GOG versions of the game on the fly. Yeah. It actually just connects to your cloud save and you just can play your Steam save.
So what happens if you have mods?
I assume that you can just play it with mods disabled, or maybe the mod saves are separate. Maybe they don't show up. I don't know. But because
I know there's mods on fucking PC.
Of course. Yeah, that's not going to be available on the Switch version. But it's cool that you can just have The Witcher on your Switch that you can take with you, and then when you're home, you can play it on your PC,
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
It's a cool way to do it. Yeah.
Pretty cool. The update also brought some graphical options, which was
it's I read about some of it. It was I know it was some bloom shit, some fucking light crap.
Yeah, you can customize the sort of visual fidelity. You can toggle things like anti-aliasing on and off. You can adjust the depth of field. You can adjust, like you said, the bloom, motion blur, stuff like that. And the game will actually perform better depending on what you've got on. So it's
what's cool. Funny is the people that are complaining about that being like a shitty version of the game. I'm what did you fucking expect?
It's a miracle that game runs at all.
That's what I loved when I saw that shit. I'm would you expect this to run like a fucking $4,000 a $2,000 PC or something?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, the game runs in fucking 2p. Yeah, it runs in not even 1080 or anything. It runs on 27p. It looks like shit, right? But it runs.
Exactly. It's like I'm impressed that they got it to run. Shit.
The game runs. And all joking aside, I can...
Well, then, you know what? Let's be honest. It walks.
Oh, yeah. All joking aside, I can bust balls, but I actually have seen that game like in person running on Switch, and it really doesn't look that bad. Like, it's not the ideal way to play that game if you own a modern console or if you own a PC, but if you want to just play The Witcher in the palm of your hand, that's pretty goddamn impressive. You like it. The fact that it looks as good as it does and it runs as well as it does is pretty impressive. So,
yeah.
We got to give credit where credit's due, and I really kind of tip my hat to those guys for updating this months old, because I think that port came out in like October, so it's like a few months old now, and they're updating it pretty significantly. So cool to see. Speaking of Switch ports, Nintendo fans, this is hilarious to me. I just found this so funny. The only reason I put this in the news drop is because I just found it so fucking amusing. Because even though Nintendo fans have been clamoring for a Switch port of Persona 5, which is something that we've literally been asking for, and we kind of thought was going to happen because Joker was added to Smash.
Yeah.
We kind of assumed that, okay, maybe Persona 5 is going to be ported to Switch. The Switch can 100% run Persona 5. That game runs on PS3. Like, the Switch can handle it. And the Switch would be so perfect for it. But yeah, no, none of this, it's still not enough for Atlas. In an interview with IGN this week, Atlas's communications manager, Ari Advansula, I think that's right, they said that, quote, if fans want the port to happen, they have to let them know. She said, quote, you want what you want, and if you don't let us know it, we're never going to be able to make it, end quote. It's like, I'm pretty sure we were telling you that we wanted that. I'm pretty sure we've been telling you that for like a year now. So if anybody from Atlas is listening, by some random chance, let me make this very formally clear to you. Yes, we want Persona 5 on Switch. Please make it. I mean, like, isn't that seems like that's such a no-brainer. That game would do gangbusters on Switch. I've already played that game and I would buy it again on Switch. Like, that game would perform so well. And again, Joker being in Smash, it's just a slam dunk.
The synergy.
Yeah, it's just a slam dunk for Smash. I mean, like, you got Dragon Quest XI on the system, and you got the hero in Smash. It just makes sense. Just makes sense. Did you hear about this No Man's Sky update?
Oh, shit. No, I think I slept on that.
So
what are they doing now?
It's really weird. It's called... I just read about this today. I didn't have it properly in the news drop, so I'm a little unprepared to talk about it. But I did want to just touch on it because No Man's Sky is another game that I really respect because they have really updated the shit out of this game. It's called the Living Ship Update. And you can... stick with me here. You can discover, nurture, and eventually fly living vessels.
What?
Like living sentient ships.
I'm reading shit, or I'm reading shit about it.
Like you grow it from an grow it from an egg.
They can't be upgraded like a traditional ship, but each one is born with a unique set of internal organs that determine their abilities.
Yes, they're procedurally generated, just like every other thing.
Yeah. So if you want one, say a fast hyperdrive, you have to nurture your ship towards the specs you want to see.
This is the sort of weirdness that I'm like on board for. I'm like, what the fuck are you... Like, when I saw this, I'm like, wait, living ship? Excuse me? What does that even mean?
Dude, they look fucking weird,
They
too.
do look weird.
Bro, dude, is this one like a fucking skull?
I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, it's interesting as hell. I respect it.
I gotta respect what those guys are doing over there at Hello Games.
I mean, it's definitely. I know you. I think you played like the first the big co-op update came out. You played it. I think it was like me and Anastasia.
Here's my problem with that. We were kind of futzing around in that, and I was like, okay, cool, I respect it. The update, it made the game run like shit. It ran like shit. Like it was like, for me, it was like borderline unplayable. Like, I just really could not get over how bad it was running. I mean, I
wonder if it's better now.
I don't know.
But
I would be halfway interested to take a look, especially with this weird new update. But
living ships, yeah.
But I'm just like, God damn, like, I don't know. That was really strange to me. I was actually shocked at how bad it ran. I want to talk about just one last thing here. This again was not in my notes, but I was reading this thing. I don't go to Polygon often, right? Polygon.com.
No one goes to Polygon.
But Colin Campbell, somebody that I'm also not a big fan of, does have a report here on Polygon that I found somewhat interesting. And I know how much you love to shit on GameStop.
Oh, you're talking about this article I was reading, like the Cable Man from South Park.
Yeah, I know you love to shit on GameStop.
Lord, did you? So I'll be honest with you. I knew you as soon as you were. Yeah, I read a little bit of it.
Yeah, I read through this piece at work today, and I was just kind of like, they did a lot of interviews with various store managers and staff, and I like to see the silver lining in GameStop. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt and everything, but. And I do think that this article and this report is a little bit one-sided. I don't like all the one-sided journalism about GameStop. There's no secret that GameStop is a sinking ship. There's no secret about that. Not even the most optimistic GameStop employee is going to claim that GameStop is not a sinking ship, right? But it's not some irredeemable hellhole like everybody thinks it is. GameStop is definitely going bye-bye. Like, there's no doubt about it. But I'm just like, there are good people that work there. You know what I mean? There are good people that work at GameStop, and it's not like it's not some totally soul devoid wasteland like people seem to make it out to be. So reading this, I just wanted to touch on a couple
biased.
things.
No, I'm just playing.
Well, nobody has a better reason to hate GameStop than I do. All right,
I know.
But I don't. I don't hate GameStop. I think GameStop is has a significant place in gaming culture. I think that a lot of people are gonna miss it when it's gone. I think that it got greedy, and I think that the upper corporate, kind of like the bigwigs of it, are definitely just sort of trying to pad out their bonuses and peace out at this point. But I think that there are plenty of good people there that just love video games. And I know a lot of people there that actually give a shit and are really going the extra mile to try to keep GameStop afloat. And it's not working. It makes me sad. GameStop is going to go bye-bye. But, I'm reading this piece here on Polygon. They're just talking about, a lot of these store managers are predicting that by the end of the year, they're probably going to close 1,000 stores. They're still posting these enormous losses, declining year-over-year sales. I mean, it's looking very bleak.
Seth, I want you to edit some violin here. No,
I'm not doing that. But you read about this stuff, and of course, I like to have the silver lining at GameStop, but it's not looking good. We will certainly continue to follow GameStop's story. As long as I draw breath, we will follow GameStop's story, even if it is to the grave.
Oh, I'm following it too.
You're following it for a different reason. I don't give two shits about the corporate bigwigs. I don't give two shits about GameStop as a company, but I do care about GameStop as an idea. And I do care about the people that work at GameStop that actually give a shit about that idea.
No. I respect those people. I don't hate them.
I just want to see the company burn. Burn!
Burn, motherfucker!
Anyway, that's...
Wouldn't piss on it if it was on fire.
Just watch all the little Baby Groot Funko Pops in there burning. All the Funko Pops and all the Think Geek shirts.
Yeah. They'll make great kindling.
Anyway, that is pretty much what I've got. Todd, is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's it, man.
All right. That's going to do it for us, folks. Check out all those videos I pimped out at the beginning of the show. I will not pimp them out a second time because I'm too lazy.
I will. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, I'm too lazy. Anyway, we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for checking out another fantastic Nerd Bourbon video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, leave us a like, drop us a nice comment, or I guess a mean one if that's your prerogative. But until next time, get dunked on.